The Leap is about giving you the ability to explore your potential so you can keep up with the fast-paced world we live in. Leap into the future with Flo's broadband packages. Turbo 10, $75. Turbo 20. Turbo 30. And introducing Turbo 100. Leap. Let's evolve as people.
This is CC6 Newsnight Weekend Review for November 4th to 7th, 2013. It was the week in which NDC executive claims an attempt was made to harm the political leader during a public meeting. Government has to wait till April 2014 for another go at the Greenlake shares. St. Mark's student becomes the first male winner of regional reading competition. In sports, 34-member team to compete in OECS swimming championships this weekend. Stay with us to bring you details when we return.
Now it's easier and more convenient to pay your Flo monthly bills when you use the check drop box at our Dusty Highway office. Simply write your name and account number on an envelope with your check enclosed and deposit it into the check box, or write your phone number at the back of the check, attach the check to the bottom portion of your bill, then deposit it into the check box. It's that easy. For more information on bill payment option, visit our website at www.discoverflow.co. Flow, watch, talk, click.
Large windows, large doors, small windows, small doors. At St. Lou Metal, the size doesn't matter. You order the size you want and we make it to your specifications. If you need our new heavy-duty casement windows or half-inch impact or laminated glass or any other doors and windows, no problem. What size? Any size. You get it at St. Lou Metal. And coming soon, PVC windows and hurricane shutters. St. Lou Metal, 19 Frequente Industrial Park, powered by Grenadian Innovation.
Thanks for joining us. I am Samantha Williams-Worm. What the NDC claims is a serious incident and an attack on the freedoms of the party was addressed in a media conference on Wednesday, which was hosted by executive members who are calling on the police for a full investigation.
Officials of the National Democratic Congress say a party meeting in Snug Corner, St. George on Wednesday night turned scary following what they call an attempt to harm political leader Tillman Thomas while he addressed party supporters. According to members of the party executive, the former Prime Minister was addressing supporters when a man driving a van allegedly tried to drive his vehicle directly into the podium where Mr. Thomas was standing. The van only stopped because it went into a skid, the party says. In response to the incident, the executive held a media conference at Tyrrell House on H.A. Blaze Street on Thursday morning. Mr. Thomas says the incident was a threat to the party's right to assemble and its right to express itself.
I was on a platform speaking when the incident took place. As I got up and began addressing the gathering, I just see a vehicle coming, driving up. I found it was strange, but the vehicle got to about 8 feet to where I was standing in front of the microphone, the pole with the microphone. So I actually, when I realized that the vehicle was still coming, I moved out. And when I move out, like he reversed and he just coming back. So I found it was strange because we were not close to the main road.
He says he felt very intimidated and threatened, and the incident must be thoroughly investigated by the Royal Grenada Police Force. Deputy Leader of the NDC, Nazim Burke, who was also in attendance at Wednesday's meeting, gave his perspective on the incident.
As the political leader began to speak, not even 3 minutes into his speech, out of absolutely nowhere, a red Isuzu double cab pickup bearing registration number TG926 headed for the head table. So it is coming eastbound along the Boca Road, turns up onto the incline and is revving up towards the head table.
He says the public meeting was arranged with the permission and authority of the RGPF.
Here we had a situation in which a deputy political leader, but most importantly, a former prime minister, having to scamper out of the way, standing on private premises with the permission of the owner of the property, having to scamper out of the way when the vehicle first went up and ended up somewhere, I would say, 8 to 10 feet, maybe 8 to 12 feet away from the incident, to the back, to the rear, and to the right, in order to get out of the path of the vehicle. We stayed sitting there, those of us who were sitting at the head table. But once the vehicle had rolled back, and we thought that was the end of it, the driver came again, for the second time, racing up now towards the head table for a second time. And of course, at that time, once he came within reach, most of us jumped out of the way.
The deputy NDC leader says there were approximately 100 people in attendance, and they were also put in danger by the driver as the situation became very intense. The accused was held by party supporters until police arrived, and Mr. Burke says after he was briefly questioned by the officers, he was released. He says the motive of the alleged accused remains unknown. The former finance minister urges Grenadians, especially supporters of the NDC, to be vigilant and protect themselves, and is calling for police present at future public meetings of the party. Wayne Francis Wright, CC6 Newsnight.
The government has said it is making every effort to bring down the cost of electricity, and this will be accomplished by getting rid of the monopoly which now governs the sector in Grenada. Purchase of majority shares in the company which owns the monopoly is seen as the way to change the situation. But a government minister says if this cannot happen, there is another option.
The government of Grenada will have to wait until April next year to know if it has to make another offer to WRB for its majority shares in Grenlec, the island's lone electricity generation company. Speaking with CC6 Newsnight at his office in the ministerial complex on Wednesday, Minister of Public Utilities Honorable Gregory Boyne says government exercised its right to make first offer for purchase of the shares last September when WRB gave notice that it intends to sell. WRB, which owns 51% of the shares in Grenlec, reserved the right to hold government's offer and after 30 days seek other offers. The company has since notified government that it will be seeking other offers, and this process has commenced.
WRB gave us notice and 30 days within a 30 days window to make the first offer. If they would not like that offer with respect to the price, it's a business venture and they want to get the maximum for their shares, then they have, after 30-day period, to go out to all other interested parties. They have notified us, as I told you, and they have gone out to other interested parties. The transaction should have closed by the 20th of December, but they have extended this now to March of 2014.
He says WRB outlined several reasons why the period to look at other offers had to be extended from December 20th to March 31st.
Most of the people now want to do due diligence, so they want a longer period. Some I know want to go into the company and really look for themselves at books, look at the engines, look at the conditions of the engines, etc. So up to 2014 before they will close a deal. Within that period, it is expected that they will select the best offer. Now, they cannot sell to someone at a price lower than government had offered. And when they get that offer, they must come back to government and allow government, if we so wish, to beat that bid.
Government's objective in purchasing the majority shares in Grenlec, Minister Boyne says, is to ensure that the cost of electricity is reduced and that rates are not left to the company to decide, even if the monopoly is a more attractive sale offer.
Attractiveness could mean that you can charge what you want and make what you want and cripple the consumer. That is out of it. So if you're asking for a premium price based on the ability of the newcomer to extract from the consumers what he or she wishes, no, yes, it is certainly less attractive in that regard. And we are also looking at, consumer protection and so forth.
If government is unable to purchase the shares, Mr. Boyne says, the laws will be amended in Parliament to allow for opening up of the energy sector. Beverly Sinclair, CC6 Newsnight.
Grenada claimed its second win in the Regional Courts OECS reading competition, which was held in St. Lucia last week Thursday, and the youngster was the lone male contestant.
Ladies and gentlemen, viewing audience, your 2013 reading champion Courts OECS from the Isle of Spice, Grenada, Dean Bideau.
Dean Bideau, a 9-year-old student of the Burnett Government School, is the Regional Courts OECS reading champion. Dean, who was the lone male among his OECS competitors, walked away with the title in St. Lucia last Thursday, making him the second winner for Grenada and the first male to win the competition, which is in its 5th year. On his arrival to the island, a welcoming celebration was held at the Morris Bishop International Airport and his hometown in St. Mark. Dillian Walters, Senior Marketing Officer with Courts, was on hand at the airport to greet Dean.
This says a lot for us as a company, says a lot for us as a country, with us coming away with a coveted title for this year once again. The first year we had Malika Bain winning the competition, and this year Dean making history, being the first boy to ever win this competition. And again, it's a history for Grenada winning this championship twice.
Member of Parliament for St. Mark, Honorable Clarice Modest-Kerwin, was also at the airport and says she's elated with his accomplishments.
I am elated, I'm excited, not only as a parliamentary representative, but as a Grenadian. And I recall the first day when the competition started, I was there. And when he won, we were very close, but we couldn't see each other. We were in the same country. So I'm just happy for Dean. He has proven himself, he has applied himself. I'm happy for his family, his teachers, and I'm happy for St. Mark and Grenada.
A rather calm yet elated winner, Dean Bideau, also spoke on his accomplishments and used the opportunity to advise his schoolmates about the importance of reading.
Well, I feel very overwhelmed to be the Courts OECS reading champion. It was not what a challenge, it was just perfect. The advice is just keep reading because no matter prizes I got, the more you read, the better you will become.
Principal of the Burnett Government School, Terry Francis, says Dean's dedication and commitment to the reading program has reaped him rewards.
What you're seeing here now is the product of a process we started a couple of years ago. We started a couple of years ago with the SET program, and Dean have graduated through the SET program right now. And what we see now is a product from what happened during the SET program. 2 years ago at our school, we decided to, because there was this program where the boys were left behind, we decided to embark on a program where we were going to do reading with the boys. When Dean was at grade 2, he won that reading competition for the first time.
There was also a small motorcade in his honor through areas of St. Mark. Sherry and Noel, CC6 Newsnight.
When we return, GUT President says he will not be blackmailed by the Prime Minister to accept paltry offer for union members.
Only one dishwashing liquid can do the job. Quicks is the expert in taking out the toughest grease easily. You know you can trust it. Quicks cuts grease better, full stop.
Extraordinary is the beauty of our beloved island. It's a family picnic to a place where we will always remember. It begins with small steps, which grow into giant leaps. As we grow, extraordinary passes from generation to generation. Our traditions and culture are all extraordinary. And we all know that every day there are people among us who do extraordinary things. Grenada is extraordinary. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
The Leap is about giving you the ability to explore your potential so you can keep up with the fast-paced world we live in. Leap into the future with Flo's broadband packages. Turbo 10, $75. Turbo 20. Turbo 30. And introducing Turbo 100. Leap, let's evolve as people.
Breeze removes stains in the first wash. The other detergents, not always. You have to wash it all again and use twice the amount. So, which one costs more? Do the math. Choose Breeze. Unbeatable stain removal.
Welcome back. Ministers of government who took office in March this year have accepted a 6% increase on their salaries, retroactive to May 1st, and have said that ministers who held office from as far back as 2009 are also entitled to retroactive pay. But those who were in government at that time are saying no to any back pay.
Former ministers of government under the National Democratic Congress have said they will not accept any money the new administration says they are entitled to. In a statement issued Monday, the NDC says the former ministers will refuse all money the new National Party claims they are entitled to as a result of salaries negotiated by the unions on behalf of their members. This decision was taken, the NDC statement says, as the former ministers demonstrate their readiness to make sacrifices for the betterment of the country. The ministers says in the statement, and I quote, "We take the position that as ministers of government, we were not members of the unions which negotiated on behalf of the public officers, and that the said unions did not negotiate salary increases on our behalf. We state that the policy of claiming an increase in the salary of ministers to match the increase negotiated by the unions on behalf of public officers is an NMP government policy." End of quote. The statement says further, and this is another quote, "The Prime Minister and Minister of Finance has been lamenting the large wage bill of the government and calling on all Grenadians to make sacrifices for the collective good of our country. In those circumstances, we regard the decision of the NMP Cabinet of Ministers to give themselves an increase in salaries at this time as highly offensive. In our view, this decision constitutes deep-seated selfishness, callousness and deceit. It proves beyond doubt that Dr. Mitchell and the NNP ministers are not prepared to make any sacrifices and lead by example." End of quote. The NDC says in the statement that it is calling on Prime Minister Mitchell and his ministers to give back the lump sum payment they received and roll back the 6% increase they gave themselves. The party says it is also calling on the business community, labor unions, community organizations, the Conference of Churches, all workers, farmers, fishermen, bus drivers and conductors, taxi drivers, tradesmen, students and all other not mentioned in the statement to demand that the NMP ministers give back the retroactive payment they accepted and roll back the 6% increase on their salaries. This action must not be accepted by the Grenadian people, the NDC statement says. Janelle Andrews, CC6 Newsnight.
A Labour Union president says he will not be blackmailed by the nation's leader into accepting any unsatisfactory offer of salary increase for his members in an effort to appease international financial institutions.
President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Lydon Lewis, says he will not be blackmailed or pressured into accepting what he calls a paltry offer made by the government, as the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Mitchell, appeals to trade unions to be moderate in their demands, especially during the period of the homegrown program. In his national address last week, the nation's leader says government has made an offer of modest increases to all unions and that the finalization and success of Grenada's homegrown program requires an upfront settlement of the wage bill. But Mr. Lewis says he is concerned that the Prime Minister is attempting to put members of the public against the trade unions by suggesting that Grenada stands to lose out substantively from the IMF and World Bank if the agreements do not meet the government's timeline to sign off on the 2014-2016 homegrown program.
This statement borders on being blackmail or coercion. And we cannot, as a trade union movement, accept that. There are several other factors to be taken into consideration when dealing with the IMF, when dealing with a homegrown program, and when attempting to get a structural adjustment program with a government. So attempting to blame it on the trade union movement and saying that we must accept or we should accept, otherwise the process will be derailed and Grenada stands to lose $100 million plus US dollars. It's grossly unfair.
In the address, the PM says he wrote to all unions requesting that the issue of salaries for public officers for the period 2013 to 2016 be settled in time for the presentation of the 2014 budget in December. Speaking to media workers at a news conference on Friday, Mr. Lewis says he takes serious objection to the statement as they have been cooperative with government in the past.
We have always worked with the government in a spirit of harmony and collaboration. We have accepted last negotiation period one-off payments of small amounts, $500. And we got 4% that was given because the police officers got it. And we got 2% real increase outside of that. So how could the trade unions be accepting small one-off payments from government? And now the Prime Minister is attempting to make the trade union movement look like a big monster in hindering the country's progress.
He says statements like these can hinder the good relationship between government and labor unions when it comes to future negotiations.
We have to continue to work together. We have to continue to grow and to strengthen the economy and by extension the country. And if you want us to work with the government or with the Prime Minister, then he has to be more considerate in his utterances, because we are currently around the table. And all that would do is lead to a situation where there'll be serious vexedness going forward with the negotiation process. And so it questions whether or not the unions are willing to go forward in good faith when the Prime Minister intentionally sets up the nation against us as a trade union movement.
The GOT president calls on the Prime Minister to address the issue in an effort to alter the belief of the public that the trade unions may be to blame if the homegrown program is delayed. Blossom Alexis Welsh, CC6 Newsnight.
Almost 1 week after the security camera footage captured a robbery at the office of spy salary traders, the police have made an arrest in the case, and a St. George man has been slapped with 2 charges in relation to the crime.
A news release from the Royal Grenada Police Force on Tuesday says 26-year-old Richardson Mapp of Dabo St. George has been assisting police with the investigations in connection with the break-in at the Spicel Quick Fix tire shop situated at Queen's Park, and he has been charged for the offences of housebreaking and stealing. Security camera footage captured the crime, which occurred after 9 p.m. last Wednesday night, and according to the time stamp on the security footage, lasted for about 15 minutes. The footage shows 2 men, seemingly unarmed and not wearing masks, who apparently gained access to the building by breaching the plywood structure. The men proceeded to search through the drawers of a desk and then made their escape with cash, batteries, motor vehicle brakes and other items. The footage of the robbery was posted on the Spy Salary Traders Facebook page and on YouTube for the public to assist in identifying the perpetrators. The police news release says Mapp was arrested less than 48 hours after the report of housebreaking and stealing was made to the police, and he is due to appear in court at a later date. He is also assisting police with the investigations into a number of other offences. Sherry-Ann Noel, CC6 Newsnight.
Coming up in sports, young Grenadians selected for Kickstart Football Academy in Barbados.
The Leap is about giving you the ability to explore your potential, so you can keep up with the fast-paced world we live in. Leap into the future with Flo's broadband packages. Turbo 10, $75. Turbo 20. Turbo 30. And introducing Turbo 100. Leap. Let's evolve as people.
Cool me down. Nothing can hard in my country. So I open a bakery. Hey, yes.
Hey, in order that I should marry.
When did you jump? Soca. Friendliest people you'll ever meet. Wise man with black stone beside him.
Live on Community Channel 6 every Saturday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. It's Sound System Saturday.
Grenada, you are being watched by the hardest hitting commentary team ever assembled, and they tell you as they see it every Monday at 8 p.m. on Community Channel 6. Watchdog.
Biting commentary.
A biting commentary. Repeat broadcast Saturdays at 8 p.m.
Biting commentary.
Welcome back. 4 of the Spice Isles' most exceptional talent will be on display when they join some of the Caribbean and Central America's best young footballers in a football academy in Barbados. Meanwhile, Grenada will seek to regain its title in a regional swimming championship. Janelle Andrews has the details.
4 young Grenadian footballers are scheduled to leave the island in the coming days to participate in the 6th annual Digicel Kickstart Academy in Barbados from November 10th to 17th. The clinic this year will be conducted for the first time by 3 coaches from internationally acclaimed British football club Chelsea FC. Marketing manager of Digicel, Kirk Setahal, gave some details about the boys' involvement in the academy.
As you're aware, Digicel has hosted a Kickstart clinic here in Grenada for the past 3 years. And the Kickstart clinic is aimed at finding that young talent in the field of football. 10 countries, Digicel countries usually participate in the Kickstart clinics. All the territories would hold Kickstart clinics, and 3 boys from each territory would be selected to participate in the Digicel Kickstart Academy, which is held in Barbados. This year, what is really exciting about it is that the Kickstart clinics and the Kickstart Academy is going to be hosted by, of course, the Chelsea coaches themselves. So it's a wonderful opportunity for the young boys selected to get that quality coaching and that lifetime experience.
Mr. Setahal says Grenada's performance has earned them a 4th spot in the academy among the top 30 aspiring young footballers.
Grenada was lucky to be chosen as one of the wildcard recipients. So we have Raquel Charles, so we would have selected the 3 boys, and then all the boys who didn't make it would be tested on their strength and their agility. And what we would do is that the selected boys, their names would go into a hat, and from all the 10 countries, they'd have the 10 names in the hat, and they will pick 3 names. So we're very happy that Raquel Charles will accompany the other 3 boys to participate in the Digicel Kickstart Academy this year.
He says the academy provides a perfect opportunity for young footballers to improve themselves.
What it means for Grenada is that you're going to have 3 young players who are going to get quality training. They are going to not only receive training in terms of technique, in terms of skills and all the different things you can do with the football, but they're also going to be put through an academy that teaches them discipline in the sport. They're going to be meeting youngsters from all over the Caribbean, so they're going to be networking. And the other wonderful thing about the academy is that most of the times there are scouts there who are looking at these young boys. So it's a wonderful opportunity for young Grenadians to get that opportunity to shine.
Mr. Setahal says each of the boys will be hoping to walk away with their own experiences from the academy, which they are expected to use throughout their football career. Moving on to swimming, Grenada will be fielding a 34-member strong team when they leave to compete in the 23rd annual OECS Swimming Championship in St. Lucia from Friday to Monday. Last year, the Grenada team narrowly lost the title to their closest rival, St. Lucia, after taking home 6 consecutive titles. However, this year, Public Relations Officer of the Grenada Amateur Swimming Association, Pamela Cherubin, says her team is hungry to regain the championship. She gave some details about how the team's training is going thus far.
OECS swim team is well prepared. These children have 34 swimmers we have been in training since after the Grenville meet, which was in September. And they are very enthusiastic. The 13 and over have been training regularly on mornings from 5 to 6:30, 4 days a week, with our Cuban coach, who we got recently, that is good. His name is Herson Fernandez from Cuba, came especially to help train our coaches in Grenada, our Grenadian coaches, and to help with our swimmers, and to help the development of swimming in Grenada. So we are very happy, and the enthusiasm, I mean, we want that trophy and we want it badly. And the children want it, and we are coming back with it.
She says, however, they have encountered some minor hiccups along the way.
We are looking to leave the island between Thursday and Friday, but we are waiting on the airlines to confirm that. This year has been the worst so far in getting sponsorship for the team. And so a lot of parents been going out there asking for donations and so to help the team travel. We have been having bake sale, garage sales, all sort of sales to help raise funds for the children to go to OECS. So this year has been a bit tough than most years.
Mrs. Cherubin says she believes the biggest challenge from the local swimmers will be to overcome their rival swimmers from St. Lucia, who Grenada has battled fiercely for the title over the years. Gasser, she says, has high expectations for the team at this year's championship and is optimistic about the team walking away with several age group trophies. We have come to the end of this Sports on 6 report. I am Janelle Andrews.
That's all we have for you in Sports on 6. A recap of the headlines is next. Recapping the headlines, it was the week in which NDC executive claims an attempt was made to harm the political leader during a public meeting. Government has to wait until April 2014 for another go at the Greenneck shares. A St. Mark's student becomes the first male winner of regional reading competition. In sports, 34-member team to compete in OECS Swimming Championships this weekend. That brings us to the end of CC6 Newsnight Week in Review for November 4th to 7, 2013. Top stories from CC6 Newsnight can also be seen on our Facebook page, Flow Community Channel 6. On behalf of the news team, I'm Samantha Williams-Worm, thanking you for joining us.